I'm going to share with you today what might be one of the most important verses in the Bible, written by King David, probably about 3,000 years ago, in beautiful poetic Hebrew. I'm going to be reading from my Hebrew Bible, actually, because it's so rich. We could spend a whole week on this one verse, and that sounds crazy, but it's so true. This verse is so important that in the Reformed tradition, my wife is Dutch, and a lot of the Christians there are what we call Reformed Christians, Hervormde or Gereformeerde Christians. At the beginning of their worship services, someone stands up and says, the man or the woman who's ever leading the service, and says this: "Our help is in the name of the Lord, who made heaven and earth, who never abandons the work of his hands." And that's been true for 400 or 500 years in these churches in Switzerland, Germany, Holland, and Scotland. And it is a very powerful and moving way to start a worship service, because we ask ourselves, is God done with us? Is he going to abandon us? Is he going to throw us on the garbage pile? Is he done with our country? Is he done with the world? Is he finished with us? Is he just going to discard the creation? Well, this verse is just so magnificent. And whatever version you're reading, I think it's best that we look at the original Hebrew itself. It says here, Yahweh, he shall complete or finish. Yigmor, he shall complete or finish. Yahweh, Yigmor, Ba'adi, everything that has to do with me. He will finish everything he has started with me. And there's also echoes of that in the New Testament. He who began a good work in us will bring it to completion. And it's an echo of this original verse from the Psalms. And it says here, Yahweh, YHWH, the Lord, Yahweh, your love, your chesed, and chesed is that sticky love that is unearned. And God just gives it as much of that as we're willing to receive. It's all about receptivity. It's grace. It's unearned favor. God delights in you, and he delights in me. When he hears your name, he delights. When he thinks of you, he's full of delight. Your chesed, your agape love in the New Testament, but chesed has got just a deeper, more sort of visceral sense to it. That love that doesn't quit, doesn't give up on creation, doesn't give up on the church, doesn't give up on a country or a people or an individual. Your chesed la'olam. The olam is the creation, the universe, the cosmos, all the works of his hands. Your chesed fills the universe, literally. Your chesed fills la'olam, unto the olam, the fullness of everything. And the works, ma'aseh yadka, the works of the hands of you, not teref, you will never abandon. What a magnificent verse. David was so gifted, King David, because he was struggling with so many things, and he was so gifted at finding chesed in the midst of his troubles. And that's what we need to do every day when we're having troubles. I had minor troubles today. I was having software problems, trying to do a better job of doing videos by getting a better sound quality. And I just ran into trouble after trouble. And for 3 hours, I was just getting nowhere. And you've all been there. And it's just really problematic. But what I have to remember is that God is never finished with us. God's love is eternal, fills the universe, fills all time and space, and he never abandons the work of his hands, and you and I are the work of his hands. And I just need to remember that when I'm having a hard day, and my problems are first world problems, to say the least. They're just not that big a deal. Perhaps your problems are a big deal. Maybe you're going through some major stuff right now. But just tell yourself over and over and over, his chesed, sticky love for us, fills the universe, and he never abandons the work of his hands, and he will never abandon me. Say that to yourself over and over and over. And just, at least for a day, you could be a Reformed Christian, like the folks in Holland, Switzerland, Scotland, and parts of Germany, where this verse is held up at the beginning of every worship service. Think about that. Have a great day. And you're safe in the Father's hands. and his love fills everything that's around you. Remember that, never forget it, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.